the past 10 years, everything paranormal has captured the attention of many people, invaded TV, radio, the books we read, movies, even in the news, and the popularity seems to keep growing. No longer talked about in hushed voices or kept hidden, now people are talking around the proverbial water cooler with incidents that happened years ago or just yesterday. Seems many are curious and anxious to tell their own stories about their brush with the supernatural. I'm Jackie Meador, Director of Central California Paranormal Investigators, and this is my co-host, sensitive healer and Reiki Master of Casa del Curandero, and partner in crime, because it's a crime we didn't do this sooner, Krista Erickson.
Thank you, Jackie, and it is a crime. So together we are going to be talking about things that go bump in the night and even the day. We are going to take you to places that some say are haunted, meet those who hunt for ghosts, venture into the wilderness in search of Bigfoot, watch the skies for UFOs, and investigate urgent legends. Those who are on a journey and committed to researching all manners of the paranormal. We hope you enjoy our special guests throughout the season and discussions on various paranormal topics. You are watching Paranormal Journeys.
Tonight we're starting off with a special guest. Most of you know him from Live from Wolf Manor, Paranormal Paparazzi, a stint on the Paranormal Challenge, and Godfather of the Stew. Please welcome our friend and ghost hunter, whose favorite color is orange, lives to play, and loves everything paranormal, Mr. Scott Gruenwald.
Hey!
Hi,
How
Scott.
are you?
Good.
I don't know who first.
How are you?
Long time.
Yes.
We
sweetie, I'm
have got
so
to get
excited.
together more than
I
just
know.
once every...
On TV.
Whatever. Yeah,
Right.
except we're on TV. Nice place you got here.
Oh,
Thank
thank
Nice
you.
tree. Everything looks good.
Oh, we are so excited you being here.
Oh my God!
Really
I was like,
excited.
parking was great. I loved driving around, and then finally they said, "Oh, you're that guy? Yeah,
You're
we're
that
waiting
guy."
for you. Park here. We have a special place for you."
We had somebody out there waiting for
I hope
you.
my
Yeah,
car's still there.
we did.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm
You
sure
look
it's fine.
good.
Well, thank you. It's a lot of makeup in here. Thank you, your hair makeup people. I've been working out a little bit, so I've lost a lot of weight.
Good.
Quite a bit of weight, so. You guys are great, too. Let's just do this for an hour. You look great. You look great. How great do I look? Again? Oh, you look great, too.
Generation Society, okay?
Right.
So, yeah, I've arrived. Here I am.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I made the big time. I made the big time.
You have made the big time, as most people know, at least if you're from Fresno in the Central Valley or even most of California. If you've ever watched anything paranormal, you've seen Scott.
Yeah.
You're everywhere.
I'm like a... I'm like a disease, maybe, or something, or a mold, a fungus. I am the paranormal fungus.
That's kind of harsh on yourself.
When I meant the big time, I meant your show. But yeah, it's comfortable. I mean, I like it. I made a couple
Fair
dollars.
enough.
Wife's happy. If she's happy, I'm happy. And the
Good.
dogs are all happy. So yeah.
Well, so since most people already know your stage self, tell us about the real Scott.
Oh God. Husband, father, recovering alcoholic. You didn't know that. I got 3 lovely children, and it's like a game show. I have 3 lovely children and a lovely wife. Me and my wife Linda, we kind of have a simple little life, and it's nice. We stay inside a lot, watch a lot of paranormal TV and stuff. I work on fire alarms and stuff when I'm not doing other things. I got a chance to be on TV, and it's like I loved it. But mostly I'm a kind of a quiet guy. I play Scott Grunwald on this thing, but actually I like to be home and read a lot. It's just kind of sit in front of the fire and kind of read, which is weird in the summertime, but yeah.
So in real life, you're just a regular guy.
Just a regular dude.
So boring.
That happens to have awesome hair. That's all I can say.
You do have
Is this
awesome
all
thing-
that matters.
Is this, I just want to make sure it's done.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, we've known each other for a long time, so what do you think most people get wrong about you?
Probably, well, when you move to that genre, when you move to television, everything you say is under a microscope. I mean, every word, everything you do, and it's either misinformed or whatever. They get their own opinion of it. You kind of got to be ready for that too. I know that a lot of people will go on these TV shows and they'll show their group and stuff, and the next day they retire from the paranormal because they don't like what they showed on TV. So you really, if you're going to do this kind of stuff, you got to be ready for that. And fortunately, I'm just a jerk on TV. So I mean, it's anything is good. So I think mostly a lot of people think that I'm this really outgoing, loud person that wears a tutu all the time, walks around downtown in a tutu, and that's true. But most of the other stuff is just real out there guy, and I'm not. So, but yeah, like I said, things that you say get critiqued.
Right.
And so,
Anyone gets any kind of popularity or exposure, public exposure, you open yourself up to ridicule. You open yourself up to people that just flat out don't like you and say bad things about you, and you just like you said, you've got to just kind of let it go and you just gotta move on.
Somebody told me the more haters you have, the more popular you're getting.
Oh,
I don't know.
I'm doing real good.
So
It's a good marker.
It's a good marker. You have the I hate Scott Grunwald page, and so these different things which I created myself. But yeah, you're under this thing, and then people look for you as advice too. And my style of paranormal investigating is far different than a lot of people. Not a lot, but most people that I know. So, and when you put your stuff out there, people,
Yeah, they're gonna critique it.
Yeah.
But every group is different. I mean, and people have to understand that no group is the same. There's no rule book. There's no guidelines. We're kind of all doing this. Trying to establish our own method, our own techniques. So everything is different.
Thank God for that. I mean,
Yeah,
if we were all
I
the
know.
same, we'd
Yeah,
be
I
the
know.
same.
Very boring.
Right.
It would be very boring.
Very boring.
So tell us how you got your start in the paranormal.
Mom, actually,
Yeah.
when I was little, 1972-ish, President Nixon was in office. And that is one of the main reasons. My mom was really into the paranormal, and it was very comfortable very uncomfortable for me and my brothers and sisters. I'm a twin. We would be pushed into this. My mom, beaded pantsuits, gurus walking around the house, seances, looking into the candle, speaking to the other side, and it was huge back then. And my father was like, letting her do all this, and here's more money, and except for the beaded pantsuit, which I still wear today, we rebelled against it. If your kids are forced into something, so my sister and myself, and my older brother, he didn't care. We just kind of moved away. I kind of spent the rest of my life proving that there's nothing out there. Trying to prove. It's easier than proving. It's disproving. So
Right.
I just go to haunted places and take pictures. And that was that jerk that would wreck a magic show. The thing's in his sleeve. And, that
You
idiot
were
in the
that
back.
guy.
I was that guy.
You were that
And so,
guy.
and my wife, knowing that, she said, why don't you grow some and go to this haunted location? And that's something happened to me, and boom.
Yeah, and look what happened.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah, big boom.
Boom.
Huh? So this first place, the Wolf Manor?
Yes. I went in there to prove that Todd is a charlatan, if you will, and God, I love him. He knows when I speak this way, and it's the way it was. And I proved that this place is not haunted. I had all the gear, and I went in there, and a little apprehensive, even though I know there's nothing in there for ghosts and stuff. I wasn't in there very long before something touched me. I'm swinging, I'm looking around, telling the tour guide something just touched me. I started crying. He's like, yeah, it happens all the time. I'm like, well, not to me. This doesn't happen to me. But like in court, a shadow of a doubt,
Right.
if I can't say it's something, then it's got to be something else.
Right.
That was
How
the
old
spark.
were you?
I was 100 and,
Yeah.
it wasn't that long
Right.
ago, I was in my 30s, so yeah, and I'm in my late 30s now.
Scared you?
No, that's actually where I met you.
Yes,
Was at the Wolf
we
Manor.
met in the dark.
Yeah, we did.
We met in the dark.
Yes.
We've all met in the dark.
Something's there.
Yes.
Oh, only a group of paranormal people have that line. Oh yeah, we met in the
We met in
dark.
the dark. Oh, that was you.
We bumped into each other.
That was you. You look so much different in
I'm used
IR.
to seeing under IR.
Oh, yeah, okay. Now, I got to ask you about the stew. Where did that come from? How did it start?
Funny story. Not that funny. We ended the Wolf Manor. It was a sad day when we had to shut down production on the Wolf
Right, I
Manor
remember
Live.
that.
One of the very first, actually, the second paranormal show on the web. We closed the doors. I walked around my house like a puppy, crybaby. My wife and my sister were there, and they're like, "Oh God, look at him." And I'm like, "Just don't talk to me. I'm not hungry." It was a big peace living. Now, it's probably just this ego that I really wanted to be on that thing somewhere because I love the attention. That my wife and my sister said, okay, let's do one show one night in the garage. We'll spoof the paranormal and see how this runs. And just one night, no big deal. And so we set up one camera. We didn't have any production, everything just a camera. We had no mics, we had nothing except for these great stories that we have thought of. Over the years, you hear all these, hey, what would it be funny if a guy carried so much equipment that he couldn't move, or all these different things. So we spoofed it, and I lost a lot of friends that night. Not a lot, but a couple close friends. But people start writing to us and saying, hey, why don't you do this full time? And when is it going to be on next? And all this. And we looked at each other and said, I'll do it if you do it. And so it became the Paranormal Stew.
You dared each other.
We dared each other.
So how long have you been doing it now?
About 3 years. Yeah, I guess 3 years.
Okay.
Right after we started, I met a guy named Jesus Martinez and his little brother George. And they came, I met him at where else? Wolf Manor. And then they came in with production skills. And they go, hey, we can do this differently. I mean, so they brought something to the table. And then Matthew Goldman, he brought something to it. So everybody came in, and it's like stone soup, I guess. Everybody kind of brought something to the table. Yeah. And it became this horrible show, but people kept watching it. And no matter what we did, people would still watch it, so.
Well, they enjoy it. So what do we have to look forward to with the next season
of the Stew?
Yeah.
Less paranormal, actually.
Really?
Yeah, we're going to start doing things like maybe Honey Boo Boo, or because George looks just like their mom. I love June. By the way, I'm her biggest fan. Per square inch. There's
per square inch. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to spoof the news.
Okay.
We're going to spoof things that are more than just the paranormal, and we'll see what happens.
Still a little bit of the paranormal, though, right?
It's funny having one of those kind of shows. So you have to have. The paranormal's tough, and
it is.
You can't really market the paranormal anymore unless you have something else. And we talked about us driving around in an old van or something like an old band from the 80s and just how we don't get along. And then they do the paranormal too. So,
it's a side note now.
It's a side note.
Yeah, right.
This year you went to the Graber House.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Yes. I know we just showed a picture of that, but how was that?
Absolutely incredible.
Was it really?
You get to being an investigator, a lot of times people don't let you go into places.
Right.
It's another group.
Right.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of groups out there that are doing damage to this. Maybe it's not just throwing a cigarette butt on the ground, So a lot of places aren't letting the paranormal back in. But for my connections, which is my wife and my sister, and Marco Santucci, we get to go to some places that are just amazing. In the Graber Olive House, apart from the best olives I've ever had in my life, it is a really creepy, and I use the word creepy, cool place. Yeah. Lots of stuff going on there.
Wow.
We were, during the day, during the night, it doesn't matter. Yeah. There's always something touching you or messing with you. And,
wow.
Wow.
I think the longer you're in this, the more they touch you. I don't know.
Or else the more you're aware of them touching.
Oh my God, it just happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Paranormal Paparazzi. Now I know it's sad. It's not on anymore. They canceled it. But how fun was that?
3 out of 10 stars. Thank you.
3 out of 10. Ooh.
Was it fun?
Yeah, it was so incredible. No, that's what they rated us on IMDb.
Oh,
Thank you, 3 out of 10 stars. No, incredible. It was. Do I use the word incredible enough? I'll use awesome now. Okay. It is the most awesome journey. I went from. Someone called me one day. His name's Zach Bagans. He said, you were on Paranormal Challenge. You went to the bathroom on the set. You
the stalking.
Touched yourself inappropriately. You rubbed pantyhose on your face.
Oh,
would you like to do that on TV regularly? And I said, I'll call and ask my wife. And she says, no, I don't think so. How much are you going to make? I told her. She said, pack some extra socks. Bye. So I left for 3 months on this journey to incredible places. And
you went all over.
Oh, God, the Bunny Ranch.
Oh, yeah.
The Bunny Ranch was
that must be nice.
Great haunt.
I can imagine, actually.
There's a building, room 2. If you ever go there, request room 2. Anyways, there was something in there, and we actually captured it on. It's like one of the only times I've ever actually captured something on a. It happened to be a studio camera, so I lost the evidence. I can't keep it, but I saw actually something in there that was like, it was a person, so
Wow.
a dead person. And I was like, oh, this is, but of course we don't get to keep any of that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But what a great place. I was there for 2 days.
Yeah, I've actually been on the outside. I was never able to get inside because it was all locked up. But I was on the outside, but I'm looking through all the windows and stuff. Yeah.
It's actually,
weird.
that
Weird.
place, Linda Vista Hospital is another place that we get to
Yeah.
poke around
Yeah.
on that
Yes.
show.
Yeah.
Great location. I mean, for everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've been there. I went to your stew con.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun.
You saw us there.
There was a warning on the television, on some television channel about the stew con. There's a group of people that love me so much that they do things like this. There was a warning not to go there. It was on some local, and we got so much attention from it. I mean, it just totally backfired on whoever was doing it.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
I thought it was too.
I had fun. It
Yeah.
was such just an incredible investigation. I mean, it was just wonderful. It really was.
800 people.
That's a lot. I
It's
mean,
a lot of
That's a
people
lot.
on an
That's a lot.
investigation.
that's a ton.
It was.
But
and,
even with that many people, it was. I thought it was so well run that you were able to do an investigation. It's not like you had 800 people all crammed together in one room.
That's true. And in the size, size matters when it comes to investigation
It
with a lot
does.
of people.
Yes.
I mean, you have a lot of people you have to keep track of. President Castle's another one. I mean, these are places that are big enough to have a few more than just the average.
20.
Yeah.
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 So you've seen so much. I mean, you do the stew. You've been on a couple different TV shows. I mean,
have.
Well, what do you see? We talked a little bit earlier about how the paranormal is almost becoming a side note to major productions now. So where do you see this field going?
Television, they'll always find something. There's always
yeah.
going to be something. You're going to be able. So whether the paranormal keeps going on television, it's really a mystery. Because all of a sudden there's going to be like some of the kind of thing, extreme paranormal where they like repel into ghosts. I don't know. TV is always going to find something that's going to capture the interest of at least me. But as far as the field of paranormal, I think we're going to get more equipment. Hopefully, now I know it's a soft. Now, it's a sore issue, paranormal unity. And a lot of people try to do it, but networking is another thing. These paranormal shows that are on the web, and everybody's got one now, there is usually a chat room along with it. That's networking. Usually it's just moving, like the stew. Stew's just moving wallpaper, and everybody just comes there to hang out in this other
Right.
chat room.
Right.
It's more networking, more conventions that hopefully are cheaper than the ones that are out there now.
Yeah.
But I think if people network at places, like you and I could be at a place and we're doing stuff, and then Jackie goes, "Hey Jackie, how you doing?" But there is a man sitting over here by himself. He might have the answer that we need
Right.
to make this work, or the piece of equipment that's going to make this work that we can talk to the dead. So it's reaching your hand out to the new investigator at least, and bringing him into the group. I like that the paranormal is an eclectic group of people.
Yes.
Where anybody can join.
That's
You're
right.
a member when you
That's
say
right.
you are. It's just, I really have a problem with residential, people doing residentials that don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I
So,
agree with you 100%.
I see a lot of damage going on.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I do too. See a lot of damage going on.
I mean, I'm not an expert or anything, but I just don't
Nobody
go to,
is.
naked investigators don't go to residentials much. So.
And that's a majority of our group, our organization. That's what we do. Is all private residentials.
See, I can't
But
do
not
that.
naked.
No. Let me clear that up. No. we're
Majority
not
of our group
naked.
walk around naked.
Yeah,
and
we're
I'm
not
like,
naked. We're not
See,
naked.
you guys have a structure. You have
We
rules.
do.
You've been
do.
you train.
Yes, we do.
You have everything. Everybody knows their not place, purpose.
Yes.
Right.
Their
And-
job.
Okay, I will wreck anything I touch when it comes to something serious. You know what I mean by that is I couldn't go with the group and do an investigation in a house because I gotta know what's in the fridge. And I might see some. I feel that if I go into a location and I ask, "Can you show yourself to me?" I've already caused damage because I don't know how to make that not happen.
Yeah.
What I mean is the child has dreams because I was there, or saying something. Now I think anything open up. Anything can open this thing up. So me just being there, going, just blame it on me if anybody's.
It's all Scott's fault.
Everybody else does.
Mr. Portal.
Everybody else blames everything on you.
Yeah, they do.
So.
And it's okay. I like it. It's attention.
Okay, so any advice that I know we talked about new people coming in and networking, and any advice you would give anyone just starting out in the field investigating?
Get with a group that's been around for at least a couple of years. Get with a group that has a teacher, a mentor. Get with a group that doesn't use the word sizzle reel. Get with a group that doesn't have a media person. Get with a group that doesn't post their stuff on there unless they're ready for the ridicule. Do these things. Get to know a piece of equipment better than anybody else that you have ever met in your life. Tear it apart. Open it up. Unsolder it. Resolder it. Take it apart. Know that piece of equipment. So when you go to an investigation, you have something, people say, well, the millimeter's doing this. Hold on a second. I know what that is. So get to know one thing, okay? If you're sensitive, make sure that you're linked up with other sensitives that aren't out there to look at me sensitive. And which is, I'm here to help. I'm here to help. I'm here to help. Look for sensitives that don't keep saying that over and over again.
Right.
Because they're not. And usually that type of sensitive that I've dealt with.
And I met up too.
I met with me, that's 3. No, I'm kidding. 3% accurate. I just get that as a sensitive.
I like that.
So if you're new, take the TV shows as face value.
That's
You're
right.
watching a TV show. It's just like The Brady Bunch. It's just like The Partridge Family, which are 2 of my favorite TV shows. And I hope I can say that on here. They're TV shows.
Yes.
They're aimed at a demographic that's not paranormal.
Entertainment.
Right.
Exactly.
And I love them.
Yeah,
I am so entertained
Absolutely.
by
That's
them.
why we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a product of the television shows,
Yeah.
Peter James.
Oh, I love Peter James.
Oh, God, all those
I love
shows
Peter.
back there.
I love Peter.
I think that may be the best piece of advice for newcomers I've ever heard anyone say.
Yeah.
No, I mean, really, I think that's perfect, Find what you want to do and perfect it, and that's how you help. So I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, and I always add too, along with what you're saying, is get educated. I mean, you cannot
Absolutely.
just
Have to.
take one little ghost hunting class and say, okay, now I'm a paranormal investigator. You got to know psychology, geology, astronomy, physics. All those things come
At
into
least
play.
one good one.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Right. Be
It's
good at
so
something.
much more than just going
Right.
into somebody's house or into a building
And
and saying,
causing
is there
damage.
anybody there?
Right.
Right.
It's so much more than that.
You need a well-rounded education.
You do. I know. I've told a lot of people that are starting out because I am no way near an expert or any of that. I've been on a few ghost hunts. That's what I tell people. How long have you been doing this? A couple days. The fact is, you can use your regular 40 if you're an electrician. Bring that to the table.
Yeah.
If you're an accountant,
Exactly.
bring it to the table.
Exactly.
If you're a child psychologist, oh God, please bring it to the table.
Yes. We need more psychologists. Just putting
Yes.
that out there.
Yes. Change your
For
majors.
everyone out there.
Change your majors.
So Scott, what's next for you? Another TV show, movie? What's
A lot of more nakedness.
Oh.
I met a group about, I met a group called SCIN, Southern California Investigators Natural. And they do everything in the nude. Not residentials, but they do everything in the nude. I went down there to do a story, got hooked in this, found that it wasn't a sexual thing as much as it more as a vulnerable thing, but it was a rush. We were getting ready. I'm doing this black box interview, or no, this black box thing. We're getting ready to talk to the guys, whatever. I turn around and they're all naked, and my cameraman, and the producer, and the lighting guy, all naked.
Everyone's
And
naked.
Yeah, these guys weren't even part of the group. So I dropped trowel and I went on this investigation at a haunted location, and it wasn't. It was so weird because I know that people say your body's your best piece of paranormal equipment. The goosebumps, cold
Yeah,
spots,
yeah.
The hair.
and the hair, and lots of hair on my back for that. And then when after it was all said and done, I left there with some really good evidence, and I thought, if it's this is actually really kind of cool. Maybe I could take this another way. So the Naked Investigator was born, and we're
Okay.
shooting stuff for that. We have 2 sensitives that are naked as well, but not physically. Them going in blind is the Naked Investigator for them.
Okay.
So
Okay.
That makes sense.
yes, they're going in
Makes sense.
naked.
That takes an immense amount of courage.
Yeah, it's you really get to know your people.
Yeah, I guess you do.
I was kind of afraid when I called production. Well, we returned back to for post production. Oh, the stuff in the field, studio production in New York, which I love. New York, God, I love it. I stayed there for months. The Travel Channel came to us and said, "Yeah, we're not going to air the Guy Who Sleeps with Ghosts. We're not going to air the Bunny Ranch, any of that. We're definitely not going to air the Naked Investigator, and pretty much all my favorite stories that I went and done. We're not going to Mark Wahlberg interview. We're not going to do." I'm like, "Oh my God, are you kidding me?" So none of these got aired, and then at the last minute they go, we're going to do it. Are you ready? And I don't remember. What did I do? So,
Yeah, really.
yeah, so I didn't get to shave my back.
Well, it sounds interesting. I mean, it sounds great.
You would love it.
I would.
We should hang out.
Yeah, we should. We should. But I'll go blindfold. But that's about it. As far as the naked, I'm not doing the naked thing. Okay. How much do you like to play games?
It's my middle name.
Oh,
well,
right.
Fiddlesticks is actually my
We
real
got a little game we want to play with you. And I'm going to ask you a question and using just one word. Okay? I'll answer the question.
And no thinking too hard.
Yeah.
No, it has to be right off the top of my head?
Right.
Is this like a psychic sensitive cosmopolitan?
It might be.
10 reasons not to have Scott Grinnell on your show.
Okay. If you had a wish.
Oh, is that the question?
That's the question.
That's the question.
You finished
And I
it.
can only use one word?
One
Yeah, one word.
Animals.
Okay.
What scares you?
People.
Least favorite food.
Liver.
Right on.
That's a good one. What's your favorite haunt?
My house.
Interesting.
It's not paranormal.
Not everything's paranormal. I want to be a
Dancer.
dancer.
What kind of dancer?
Jazz, of course.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's 3 words.
What is your extreme dream?
Airplane.
Okay.
Okay. I won't.
There isn't anything. Oh my God.
There is nothing Scott won't do. You heard it
Everybody's like,
here first.
forensic evidence. No, did that.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here
I
first,
don't
everyone.
know.
There is nothing Scott won't do.
Cheat, I guess.
Cheat. Okay, well that's a good one.
That's a good
one. Okay, one last question. Boxers or briefs?
Neither.
I wanted another answer to that one.
It's actually something else, but that's fine. But your form prohibits me to show you because it's also green screen in color. So
You're wearing green screen underwear?
Green screen underwear. I didn't know how this was going. I guess they come downtown. There's
Well, I
this
suppose
studio.
when you're used to filming The Naked Investigator,
Yes.
you know, green screen underwear is a must.
It is, and you know, I did years of porn as well. You guys knew that, so I didn't know if we could talk about that. But the green screen porn was definitely it's something worth looking into.
Wow. Okay. Good to know.
Okay. Okay. If you want to hear more about Scott and see what he's up to and what's coming up next, go to his website. It's www.scottgrunwald.com. That was fun.
It was,
That was
fun.
fun. You're going to hang around with us for the rest of the show, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right. Okay.
We got a couple things to talk about.
Yeah.
And I have a story that actually fits right in with our last conversation. So let's move on. We do stories at every show, and the first one I'm going to talk about is about naked ghosts, actually. So it's perfect that you're here. So it kind of seems absurd that when somebody dies, that they come back with their clothes on, because it's supposed to be our soul. So why does our soul have clothes? But on the same hand, it also seems kind of absurd that a ghost would come back without any clothes.
Yeah.
You know, so this is actually, there's a lot of stories out there about naked ghosts. And they're just not talked about very often, right? I mean, so we're going to talk about them.
And two, a lot of skeptics. That's their one big question. You know, I get asked that all the time. Well, okay, if ghosts are real, how come they're always seen wearing clothes when they don't really have a body? You know.
Right.
So.
And I don't have an answer to that. I mean, do you?
Yeah. Well, other than what our article says.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Scott, what about you?
Well, I believe that they want to show themselves how they want to be seen. Like EVPs are in different languages, but we can understand them in our language. They want you to see them this way. That's why. Me, I would love a naked ghost, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
See, and I agree.
I agree with you too.
But let me go ahead and share some stories. First of all, there's an extremely well-known historical site, Alcatraz. I mean, everyone knows that Alcatraz is probably one of the most haunted places in California. Here we have a nice photograph of it up for you. However, the famous island prison has had thousands of souls go through it, but there's one that seems to have stayed behind without its jumpsuit.
Really?
So in the D block, there are 6 small cells. It's known as the hole. So this is where like you had to like really screw up.
Yeah, really.
If you did something really bad, you got sent to the hole. And apparently, this was solitary confinement, and there's no windows, there's no lights. I mean, it's nothing. The prisoners were literally stripped naked, beaten, and thrown into this place and left there for however long the warden decided that they needed to be punished. Now, of course, expectedly, some of these people died in the hole of starvation, of exposure. I mean, because here, they're naked, they don't have blankets, there's nothing to keep them warm, and it's got to be cold down there, right? I mean, we know it's cold. So cell 14D in particular is said to be the most haunted cell, and it's rumored that a prisoner was strangled to death there, and this was back in the 1940s. This was at the hands of a ghost with glowing red eyes. So apparently it was a ghost that murdered him.
Right.
In the same cell, there have been reports of an apparition of a naked male inmate that's kind of cowering in the corner.
Right.
So we know for sure that there have been multiple deaths in this particular cell. I mean, that's something that's been notated, documented in the official record, but we have a naked ghost. I've heard all sorts of stories about Alcatraz. I never heard of the island's naked ghost, though.
Yeah, I hadn't either.
If it's intelligent, do they know they're naked? Or if it's just a residual, maybe this person
Yeah.
cowered for years
Yeah.
in the corner for obvious reasons.
Traumatic. It was trauma.
As you were just saying, a tattooed imprint or something.
Sure.
In time.
Right.
Yeah, and for those that don't understand or don't know what a residual is like a video imprint of something that happened, maybe years ago, maybe yesterday. It's very traumatic, something that happened that was very traumatic, and it's left like a residual energy imprint, and it plays over and over. It eventually dissipates, but it's not, doesn't communicate, doesn't do anything than what experience the person experienced at the time. So other than a live haunting is obviously one that you can communicate with. So
Right.
but yeah, and Scott's probably right. It probably is, because it's never really communicated with anybody. It's
Exactly.
just seen cowering in that corner. That's all it's
I
ever
think a
done.
lady in white's like that. Everybody has a lady in white.
I know everyone
Yeah,
has a lady
There
in
should be
white.
a lady in white union 100.
And a ghost named Mary. I mean,
Yep,
there's
everyone,
always
yeah.
a Mary and always a lady.
There's
in
always a
white.
Mary and a lady in white.
Yeah.
All right, I got a few other stories for you too about naked ghosts. And this one's a little more sad. It's in New Orleans. In Octoroon, this is a mistress named Julie, and she is said to live in the 1800s. And according to her legend, her lover told her that he would only marry her if she proved her love by spending the night naked on the roof.
This is bizarre.
This is really bizarre. Apparently, she accepted the challenge, and the next morning she was found frozen to death on the roof, naked. And some people believe that her nude figure still sits on the roof. And this is actually, we have the actual address of this place. It's 734 Royal Street. And this is in cold December nights, she said, to be seen up there. So now this one is really odd. First of all, it's hard for me to believe that any woman would go sit naked on a roof overnight in the freezing
How far
cold.
would you go for a man?
I wouldn't go that far.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
How far
either.
would you go, Scott?
For a man, I'd probably do it right away.
No questions asked, right?
Yeah, no questions asked.
So that one's a little more bizarre. I have another one here. This one is about children, about naked children in the afterlife. This is in Asheville, North Carolina, on the Craven Street Bridge. Here we have a photo. It's believed to be haunted by the ghost of a young boy. And this boy is said to have drowned in the French Broad River, which is far below this bridge. He appears under foggy conditions, running around in his birthday suit, apparently. So this is this photo. This is a supposed photo of of this particular child.
I wasn't able to verify it, but it came with the article, and so we just included it. But
I mean, I'm no expert on photos by any means, but that doesn't look real to me.
yeah, and I would doubt it too. I mean, I
Yeah.
think if somebody had really gotten this picture, really captured this picture, I think it would have been all over the news by now.
Right,
You know,
right.
over YouTube and
that's
whatever.
unfortunate too.
Yeah.
When you have a really good story or something, the people need the visual aid for it, and then just
And then they just make something up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a visual aid. It serves its purpose.
Yeah.
naked guy.
Yeah. So here's another one. Okay. There's naked ghosts all over the
There is.
world.
There's one right behind you.
She looked.
I'm joking.
Stop that back there. Stop it.
So in Scotland, we have another naked ghost. This one's a girl that has been seen combing her hair in front of a mirror at the Merchalis Castle. I really hope I pronounced that correctly. I probably didn't.
This is as good as mine.
Yeah, and both Bath Abbey and the surrounding streets are the stomping grounds of a naked Roman soldier. He must be wearing a helmet if people think he's a soldier. Otherwise,
How would you know?
how do you know?
I know.
I mean, but really, how do you know it's a soldier unless
Well,
they
Roman
have?
told you would figure the Spartacus thing or the no, is he Roman? No, but the big thing on
The
the
big
head.
plume.
Yeah, the
big
big,
plume
yeah,
thing.
yeah. But-
Plus, it's behind Roman baths, so you know, they're just assuming that
They
it's-
wore
it's
that
a
in
Roman
those.
soldier.
Yeah. Maybe it was an aristocrat that was taking a bath and died before he could get his robe back on.
Maybe it's somebody who stole the helmet. He was murdered, and
Right,
he was a
right.
helmet
You know.
thief. The helmet thief of whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So, just why are ghosts seen with clothes or without clothes? A question that researchers are asked frequently is also a question that skeptics raise to support their argument that ghosts are figments of the imagination. Okay, but it's a perfectly legitimate question, though. You know, if ghosts are spirit energy, why do their manifestations include manufacturer convention of clothing? You know, I mean, after all, clothes are not a part of our body, our spirits, or our souls, you know. So a couple of very well-respected paranormal researchers actually weighed in on the subject. So I'm going to go ahead and read some quotes. This first one is from Troy Taylor from the American Ghost Society. And he says that no one really seems to know for sure, but it is possible that in most cases, ghosts seen wearing clothing are simply residual images, which we touched on a little bit earlier. And that kind of seems to be our general consensus on it. Imprints or memories that linger on the atmosphere, that's what a residual energy is. But what about those that are not imprints? Because we have all different types of ghosts out here. So many researchers feel that the ghosts are made up of energy, and this energy forms what we call our spirit, soul, or personality. If it can exist inside of our bodies, then why can't it exist outside of our bodies? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if spirits have any sort of control over their energy, then they are now comprised of, then I would think it possible for any witness to see the spirit as the spirit sees themselves. And that's almost exactly what you had mentioned.
I think they want to be seen a certain way.
Right. And if the personality really does remain, then the spirit would visualize itself as it was when it was alive, appearing as a living person wearing clothing. So
Perhaps something they've always wanted to be.
Right.
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 So
Younger,
let's. I want to do a little experiment real fast here because I think this is going to be fun. I want everyone to close their eyes.
Everybody out of the crew, close your eyes.
The cameras all go
Right, come on,
sideways.
close your eyes. Don't move the cameras though. No. Okay, so visualize yourself in your mind. Just take a moment. Just try to get a good visualization of yourself. And how do you appear? Are you in your favorite jeans and a t-shirt, or are you buck naked?
50 pounds slimmer.
No, that's a good visualization there.
That's how I see myself.
Scott may have said the buck naked part. I don't
I
know.
always visualize myself naked in better.
In better shape. But most likely, I'm going to make an assumption here that most people
Wear clothes.
saw themselves, envisioned themselves wearing clothing. So that would make sense as to why ghosts appear with clothing on. Now, we do have another point of view from Richard and Debbie Sennett. They are from ghoststalker.com. And what they have to say about this is that ghosts and the clothes they wear have long been a snickering question. It's sort of a gotcha question debunkers use, and it tells more about the way ghosts are interpreted than anything about them. Clothes are a part of what we are, part of how we see ourselves, and this mental image is one projected and picked up. There are some reports of nude ghosts, but they are few and far between, and some ghosts tend to be seen in the garments they are buried wearing. these are all very good points. If ghosts are manifestations of the energy of human consciousness, then that consciousness would include clothing, since, as stated above, that is how we think of ourselves. So basically, it goes back to what we just did, that little
Right.
experiment. It's
Right.
all about how we think of ourselves.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty plausible. I mean, our consciousness survives. We know that it survives.
Right.
So that's how we think of ourselves. That's how we think of, I mean, we still carry our memories of our loved ones. We still carry those memories. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, and I do believe that in some cases, such as really traumatic deaths, because every now and then you come across that spirit that doesn't seem
right,
to know it's gone,
Right.
it's dead.
right,
And in a case like that, I could see why maybe they appear naked if they had passed
right.
while they were unclothed. But I mean, honestly, we're never going to know the answer to this.
No.
The only way to know is
Ever.
to die.
So
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then,
I will come back and I will tell you. I will tell you the answer.
Okay. All
well, I'll
right.
go before you, so I'll tell you.
No, I don't
Let's make a
know.
pact.
Yeah.
Whoever dies first, right there. Yes. Whoever dies first, we know that.
But just so you know, it's not just the ghosts that get naked. Take, for example, the strange case in Mississippi of an amateur photographer who apparently likes showing off his orbs. Okay, no, this is a really funny story. In an effort to cut down on vandalism at a church cemetery, authorities set up game cameras to capture images of would-be vandals. So game cameras, if you don't know, they're the ones that they're still, like, it doesn't take a photo unless something walks by them, then
It's a motion sensor.
Yeah, thank you, motion sensor. So what they ended up capturing wasn't quite what they expected. The camera snapped a photograph of a naked man setting up a camera on a tripod. Maybe it was Scott.
It was
Maybe it
Scott.
was me. Oh, look. It is me.
Glowing eyes.
So here's the photo the camera caught. So this was back on December 10th, 2010, and police finally tracked down the man responsible. His name is Robert.
Yeah, I
Okay.
wouldn't put in his last name.
Yeah, so when questioned, Rob here admitted he was in the cemetery trying to capture photographs of spirit orbs. For the past year, the 47-year-old had been taking orb pictures as a hobby and believed they looked like faces on exposed skin. So he actually thought that by taking pictures of his exposed skin, he would get the orbs. So he started off by just taking his shirt off.
I've got to use that one next time I get caught naked.
There's new ideas for you. But yeah, he started off just going shirtless, and then for whatever reason, he decided that that he just needed to.
Orbs look better on
Yeah.
his behind.
That's usually how
Yeah, I guess so. So he went all natural, Scott style. Robert decided that it was time, after he got caught, he decided it was time to hang up his towel, so to say. And he no longer does spirit or photography, or at least not in the nude, or at least not in the public that we know of. So there you have it, some food for thought. So that's naked ghosts and naked ghost hunters.
That story was contributed by Ken Summers at Moonspenders. So
Yes.
that's where we got the story.
So thank you for that.
Okay, now we get to do my story. And
Ooh.
I want to know who gives me these stories, because she gets the cool naked stories and I get the one about alien bugs. Okay, yeah.
I hear,
British scientists believe that they have found small bugs from outer space in the Earth's atmosphere. Instead of little gray men with big eyes, are these the real ETs? And then I think we have some photos there of these tiny organisms were discovered by a University of Sheffield experts on a research balloon they had sent 27 kilometers, 16.7 miles into the atmosphere during August Perseids meteor shower, and detected when the balloon landed back on the ground in Wakefield, West Yorkshire in England. The scientists are confident in their findings and insist the samples could have not been carried from the Earth's surface into the stratosphere. The second layer of our atmosphere, which stretches up to 50 kilometers, 31 miles from the ground, and because strict tests were taken to avoid contamination of any kind. Professor Milton Wainwright, who led the team, said most people will assume that these biological particles must have just drifted up to the stratosphere from Earth, but it is generally accepted that a particle of the size found cannot be lifted from Earth to heights of, for example, 27 kilometers. The only known exception is by a violent volcanic eruption, none of which occurred within 3 years of the sampling trip. We can only conclude that the biological entities originated from space. Our conclusion then is that life is continually arriving to Earth from space. Life is not restricted to this planet, and it almost certainly did not originate here. If life does continue to arrive from space, then we have to completely change our view of biology and evolution. Professor Wainwright added, new textbooks will have to be written. Further crucial tests on the samples are planned, and researchers would be carrying out further experiments during the meteor shower in October. These findings will be published in the Journal of Cosmology.
That's kind of cool.
It is kind of
actually.
cool.
Really?
Yeah,
It is.
it is.
And I actually had the opportunity to go and camp overnight during that meteor shower, and it was pretty spectacular. It was freezing cold.
Right.
Like
Wow.
freezing cold, but it was an amazing meteor shower. So that's kind of cool that they
Yeah.
found
It's a
they
life
found
force.
ET.
It's-
Yeah.
Yeah, they're right. Well, they found some sort of life. It doesn't
Right.
have to look like a human.
Right. Right,
Humanoid.
exactly.
But it's something out there. It's so far away, and it's not breathing oxygen. It's obviously some other thing, so it'll probably die if it comes here. There's something living out there.
Yeah.
And, that blew me away. That's like they found something.
Exactly.
And finally.
And I like too because they're going back and doing it again, so it's not just a one-shot deal. They're going to go back. They're going to keep testing, experimenting,
not?
and
Right.
setting up.
And hopefully they'll be able to replicate the results, because if
Yeah.
they find nothing the next time, then, all the skeptics are going to say, oh, it was a fluke, it was some kind of contamination.
Yeah.
So hopefully
Right.
they can reproduce the,
It
the
just
results.
freaked me. That story freaked me out a little bit. I mean, that was like the coolest thing I've heard
These
in a
things are
long
raining
time.
on your head, right?
Well, it's just like now, I've seen Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I know where they
Yeah,
came from.
right.
Now it's real.
Both remakes.
Yeah.
Okay, and our next story. Oh, this one got me. This one got me. Okay, ghosts who are single and ready to mingle now have a dating website. Okie dokie. All right.
ghost
As anyone in the
singles.
paranormal realm can tell you, all the good ghosts are either married or into the poltergeist scene. So where's a single spirit supposed to meet that special specter? Well, check out ghostsingles.com, a dating website for lonely phantasms looking for a posthumous pal, offering profiles for both male and female ghosts. The site allows spirits aged 18 to 1,000 plus to describe themselves and divulge how they died, horribly, tragically, mysteriously, or suddenly. But realizing that those long gone could still be new to the dating otherworld, ghostsingles.com offers up tips like don't kiss on the first date, don't kiss ever, in fact, because your faces just pass through each other and it's really weird for both parties.
P harmony. Now, can humans date ghosts on the side, or is it just ghost to
I think
ghost?
it's just ghosts.
It's just
'Cause
ghost to ghost.
Spectrophilia is huge out there.
Oh, goodness.
You just made that up.
No, I didn't. It's actually a
Really?
real thing. People that have sex with ghosts. Marco Santucci has a book called Paranormal Noise. Reach page 39. It's amazing.
He knows the exact
spectrophilia.
page.
It's
That's
actually
earmarked.
It's actually a lot of. We did a story on it. And
Wow.
It's incredible how people actually fall in love. They'll have a ceremony because anybody that's ordained in California can do that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, they actually marry ghosts.
But
and
don't
stuff.
both parties have to be alive and living to be married?
Who's to say they're not communicating?
Doesn't
with
say
them?
one way or the other in the rules.
Yeah.
Doesn't say you have
I
to.
think it's
Interesting.
just well now that same sex is okay. I don't
Yeah.
think animal and person's okay.
No.
But if a person is a human on the other side, why not get married? I know people that devote their lives to, and they've been, people think they're crazy because they have a chair for the person, they set a table for the
Imaginary
person.
friends.
They do all this because either they're very, very lonely, or this is actually really what's going on. They'll manufacture something in their head, or maybe they are in love with something out there and having sexual relations.
Weird.
Well, I mean,
It's true.
well, yeah.
And is it cheating?
Yes.
Is that cheating if you have sex with a ghost?
Sure. Other than your married partner, yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
there's not any pictures you can find on the phone except their orbs. Which means you're having sex with bugs.
Oh, now we're going to be inundated with photos of
Yeah,
orbs in
yeah,
bed.
please.
Sorry.
So before we wrap up tonight's show, we have a couple quick announcements about some special events coming up and some other information to give you.
As usual, you want to see what CCPI is up to next, and you can go to our calendar or go to our website at ccp.ccp. I'm having a hard time talking. www.ccpifresno.org.
There you go.
That's a good one.
It just took a minute to spit it out.
Yes. Yes.
All right, and also through Casa del Curandero, we always have classes going on. The next one coming up is going to be on February 8th. It's going to be a Karuna Reiki class. Now that's only if you are already some kind of Reiki master. So if you're interested, check us out. That's www.casadelcurandero.com.
Yes, and if you haven't seen it already, on the last weekend of September, there was an insert in the Fresno Bee called the Central Valley Magazine, and I was going to bring it and I forgot. And it's called Fresno's Ghost Stories by Janessa Tyler, and it's about 300 places in Fresno, one of which is the Nonini Winery, the Wolf Manor, and what else? Oh, Sierra Sky Ranch.
Yep, Sierra Sky Ranch.
Yeah, so really good article, page 38. So you can go to www.centralvalley.com and look up read their article online.
All right. Scott, do you have anything that you'd like to share?
Here? Just doing a lot of events. Go to www.scottgrumwell.com and The Naked Investigator. The Stew's coming back. It's thestew.info. It's a horrible show. I wouldn't watch it.
It's
but
good.
A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff for us going on in the paranormal on my side of the coin, if we will. We talked about that. So, yeah.
Where's the next Stew conference?
It's going to be at the Olive Graber House.
Oh,
We're
you're
going to
gonna go
stick
back?
there.
Oh,
They're great
great.
people. Haunted location, shade, water,
We're gonna have
people,
to go. We're gonna
famous
have to
people.
go.
That's like, you're spoiling us.
We're going to have to go.
Yeah, we are.
There's
gonna have
shade
to
there.
go.
Remember where we never had shade before?
Yes.
We got shade.
Nice.
It's amazing. Yeah, we had
Yeah.
to bring it in, but
Okay. Well, your first 2 tickets are sold.
Yeah.
$5.
All right.
No, but we'd love for you guys to come speak and
Sure,
stuff. We can't use
sure, it'd be great.
your
Maybe we
fame
could
to
even do a
promote it.
show. We could even do a
Live?
taped. No, it wouldn't be live. It would be taped.
Oh, well, yeah.
We'll figure
What
something
is-
out.
Oh, it is live.
Oh, yeah.
It is live. It is live.
Thank
Okay.
you guys very much.
No,
Really
yeah.
appreciate
I
it.
can't wait. Sounds like fun. All right, well, I think that's going to wrap it up for us today. Mark your calendars. We're on the last Wednesday of every month, same channel, same time. I hope that you've enjoyed our show today. This was our first show with a guest, and Scott, you were just,
I'm first.
you're first.
So this is the only time there's been 3 chairs on here?
Yes,
I'm
actually.
the third chair.
You're
Yes.
the third
Instead
chair.
of a third wheel. That's great.
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
a good thing. It's definitely a good thing.
Well, it was an honor.
Yes, no, really. Thank you very much
thank
for
you.
coming. We've enjoyed having you on here. If you guys have any questions or comments on the show, please feel free to contact us. We're at paranormaljourneys1@gmail.com. Again, a special thank you to Scott for joining us. And on behalf of Jackie and myself,
Take care and be safe.